eligible Queensland homeowners are getting paid to go solar. So how does it work? So how does it work? So how does it work?
Good evening or good morning, wherever you may be. It's afternoon here in Australia on the East Coast, 2:30 p.m. in Brisbane. And we're going to have a bit of a dive into the market and just see what's been popping, what's been happening. So, I'll wait for a few people more to sort of filter through. We'll get some of these charts opened up just so that we're ready. Try and make it as seamless as possible here. Here we go, total market cap. Definitely be looking at that. I'm sure we'll be looking at Shiba, Dogecoin, XRP even, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, of course. Which is actually right now doing really well. It's coming up to levels it hasn't been at, since the big drop back in early to mid-May, when Tesla announced that they were no longer accepting Bitcoin for their cars, for down payments on their cars, or total payment of their cars. So we'll see where that goes. We'll see where that heads once we get up above that resistance. What's happening, me B? Befweefy? Is that how you say your name? Delboy 1967, Derek Nguyen, Eddie, Brandy Powers, hey Brandy, Muhammad, and Lucifer Morningstar, hey. Nice name. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I hope you guys are doing well too. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. I know it's probably still Sunday night for you guys in America, or is it Sunday morning? Oh, sorry, Monday morning. Yeah, early, okay, very early Monday morning if you're on the East Coast. 12:31 a.m. Monday. So let's see. There's 16 of you in here for now. Oh, sounds like someone's in the voice channel in here. Oh, Trogdor, what's happening, dude?
I was starting to sing, but I don't know, maybe it was a little too early to just start singing.
You can sing, man. Sing whatever you like. I'm just, yeah, just thought I'd jump on and do a bit of a stream. And I mean, this is a pretty pivotal moment right here. This is Bitcoin getting right back up to where it, where it was, trending around right before Tesla announced that negative Bitcoin news, So yeah, you can see the damage it caused when all that happened, and now we've climbed back up to where I feel like the market would have traded around had there not have been that news, perhaps, So yeah, we'll see. I think it was all kind of part of a narrative, perhaps, where they were driving the price down to cause an area of like reaccumulation, and then when they were happy with how much, you know, they had bought up, you know, the new story begins, the new narrative to get pushed. Oh, Brandy, thank you. $2 super chat. Glad to catch you online. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's good to... I've been trying out a new format. I've just been streaming only when I'm sitting at the computer, so I don't just let it run, you know, 24/7 while I'm not here. Just because, I don't know, there's a lot of dead, like, radio silence when that happens, and yeah, it doesn't have that 24-hour conversation sort of factor to it. But yeah, maybe it'll get to that point again, like where the people start populating the Discord channel, and you know, I'm happy to stream that if it gets to that stage. But for now, I'm just going to stick to this format until the channel grows a bit more and gets back to that sort of I don't know, style, I suppose, for lack of a better term. Let me just fix up the audio here. Music might be a little bit loud. That's better. All right, so let's just see. I think, yeah, obviously this on this bounce here, well, it's not really a bounce, it's just part of the next phase of this correction, this corrective wave. So we've had our first impulse, pullback, first pullback, and then we've got our second impulse wave, which is due to be larger than impulse wave 1. So definitely on track to retest $60,000, I think, which is basically this pivot right here. We dealt with that pivot back in early May. You know, that's where we bumped our head. We've only spent, what is it, like 7 days? And not all at once, it was like spread out across, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 candles closing above $60,000. So that's, yeah, that is almost uncharted territory, like above 60,000. Like, we have not spent much time above 60 in the past. Like, it's here and it's here. So yeah, this is, we're definitely traveling up. There's not much resistance left, I'll tell you that much, on Bitcoin. All of the serious resistance has been broken through, if you ask me. Broken through that pivot there, this pivot here. The only ones left are the 60K, and technically this one here. That's the next test. What is that? Let's start charting that out so we can keep an eye on it. Oh, wrong spot. Right there. Okay, so that is $58,350. That is a pivot of significance, if you ask me. I mean, look how standing out it is all by itself. It got a clean rejection off that level in the past, back in February. And then, yeah, we deal with the 60,000 psychological level. And then there is another pivot here that we have to sort of get through. Now, remember, these pivots, sometimes they just get totally blasted through. Like, they don't always pose resistance, you know? So if we get past 60,000, I think that's going to be such a big psychological deal that that's not going to be much of a challenge at all. 61,844, that'll, you know, there might not even be any fear at that level, because there's going to be so much, like, excitement back in the market again. I mean, I'm sure it's already there right now. I think that the fear and greed index is probably still showing, you know, maximum greed. Let's look that up. Fear and greed index for crypto. And yeah, we're just in greed right now. So it's not extreme greed, but it's on the higher end. With, you know, we've seen this go way up, like way above this level. So there's room to move up, definitely. I think there's a lot of caution still in the market. We haven't yet, if this is the total crypto market cap chart, that's the all-time high. That's the high we made recently, back in early September. And this is our top trend line that causes a level of resistance just to be aware of. And you can see we've been meeting that line maybe there's a couple of wicks up through it, but for the most part, we're still below that resistance. We need to break through it. So with Bitcoin climbing the way it is right now, I'm confident that this is going to break and we're going to get a retest of the all-time high for total market cap. So all of you bulls, all of you optimists that were calling for all-time highs and beyond this year, I think you're in pretty good standing to see that come to fruition. So I'm a believer now because I was a naysayer. I was saying the reason I was a naysayer was because of this death cross that we saw back in June, late June. So happy to admit where I was wrong, because I was wrong, definitely. I was calling for this to be the start of the bear market, just like a similar thing that we had back in 2018. We had the death cross on the daily chart, and we just could not get a higher high all year, basically, on the macro scale. But look at this. We have now got a macro higher high. We are well beyond this pivot here and this pivot, and we're trending up to 60,000. Can you believe it? So we've got our golden cross here on the daily. By the way, this is a record. This is actually a record-breaking golden cross on the daily chart for Bitcoin. We have not seen a golden cross this soon after a death cross, let alone, coming back up to retest all-time highs so soon after that death cross. So yeah, records are broken, or new records are made this time around, it seems. So that's exciting. Now, in the past, I'm pretty sure the fourth quarter in the past has been, the bullish kind of quarter for the year. You get a lot of bull activity in January as well, January, February. But yeah, so this could be the start of the next wave, and we've definitely been patient waiting for that. Now there has been, I'll show you this other theory that I saw off a different channel called Trade Devil. I'll write that out in the YouTube chat, so you've got something to search up at another time, or even now if you like. Trade Devil, he's an Elliott wave theory analyst, technical analyst, and he basically had a count of Elliott wave starting from here, the COVID dip, going up, wave 1. So I'll show you that. I'll draw it out just so you've got something to go by. Hey, OG Alchemist, good to see you on board again. All right, so wave 1 starting from the low here. Let me go on to the weekly just so it's even cleaner, so you can see that. So if we go Elliott wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so there's wave 1. The COVID low to the current all-time high is wave 1. The ABC correction takes us down to 30k, and then now we are the theory is that we're just starting wave 3. Now there is another count as well, starting from back here. I'll draw that in too. So 1, 3, wave 4, and then now we're on the 5th wave, which would take us to, and let's actually calculate that. If this is going to be an Elliott wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're on the 5th wave right now, then you can do a trend-based Fibonacci extension to try and target like where this thing might cap out to. So I'll do that right now. Let's turn the logarithmic scale off just so we can see it a bit cleaner. And I'll just get that fib in. So you start at a low, you take it to a high point, we'll take it to the all-time high, and then if we take it to the lowest point after that high, that gives us this extension with levels to target. So I'll scroll that across the price there like that, hit OK, we'll lock that in, go back to the daily chart, and you can see the 618 here hasn't even been met yet. If we get a full Fibonacci, like a 1, if we target the 1 up here, a 1-to-1 extension, that would put us at just under $90,000 for Bitcoin. So that's, let's see, that is almost 60% up from right now. So 58% up from here. As a very bullish target. A more conservative target would be the 618 fib, which is just above the current all-time high, and that puts it at 66,500 US for per Bitcoin. So yeah, those are some optimistic sort of Fibonacci extension targets. Now the Fibonacci extension tool is used in Elliott wave theory, so that's why I'm drawing it off these points to get that, like, basically that wave 5 target. So let's see how it goes. I'm gonna scroll this out across the screen, and I'm gonna put that 5th wave target at 89,800. And over time, we're just gonna see if it maintains that trajectory and we get that 5th wave to hit on the final count there of wave 5. So lock it in. We'll see how we go. You know, there could be a strong rejection off 60,000, which sees us, you know, fall back to previous levels. But yeah, I'm happy to be optimistic now. You know, I've seen this break here of the resistance line, this trend line starting from the all-time high back down to this high, which is the lower high, the macro lower high. We have broken that resistance. We've invalidated any kind of bull trap because we've only seen price climb from here. Yes, there was a bit of a, you know, a consolidation move here. You know, let's see, a bull pennant, if you will, something like that, or a bull flag. But anyway, that was by no means any kind of trap, I don't think. It's all, you know, there's nothing to me of this move up to where we are right now looks like any kind of trap or what would you call it, manipulation. It's all a healthy move. Like it's a wave 1, an ABC correction, and then now we're on this wave 2, this bullish wave 2. Now in Elliott wave theory, remember there is the macro perspective, but also the shorter term, the micro perspective. So you can see a count inside this wave too. Starting from here, you had wave 1, pullback, wave 2, you know, whether you want to call it to here, and then the pullback, and then wave 5, which is the final bull wave in a count like this. You know, where you call the counts is up to you. Like, I mean, that's the thing with Elliott wave theory. There's a lot of variables at play, and there's a lot of subjectivity around it, depending on who's calling out the counts, and you know, it's opinion. There's a lot of opinion around it as well. So, yeah, I mean, I still think it's interesting, and it tends to play out a lot on the larger time frames, the larger scales. But for the most part, yeah, this is that's a natural Elliott wave up, like textbook to Elliott wave, if you will. Yeah, ABC correction. Now this is something that another member messaged me about not that long ago, actually. There's an ABC correction here. A, B, and then wave C, which is the corrective wave you get after an impulse. So see how, if you break it down further, there is Elliott wave counts within the larger macro counts. So all of this is technically, you could say, is a 5th wave that we're working on. Now, so there's this smaller one, this ABC correction, but there's also this. Let me get that drawn into this other wave. If we're calling, let's say it starts here. We've seen wave 1, wave 2, and then maybe this is the third wave, which is a really big wave. You know, it's usually the biggest wave of any kind of 5-wave count. But yeah, I don't claim to be an expert on Elliott wave theory. It's something that I'll be looking into and studying a bit more so I can share it with you guys. And then, you know, if you guys feel confident in Elliott wave theory, you can jump into the free Discord, which I'll pop up in the chat here on the YouTube channel. And feel free to join in. And if you know more than what you're hearing, then feel free to come in, chime in, and give us your 2 cents. Or you know, it's all a collaboration with the community. You know, that's what the aim of this channel is all about. So yeah, free to join the Discord, and just I'll pin this message to the top of the chat just so it stays there. All right. And what I might do actually is write that out as a message just so that people understand that it's free. Okay. Place that message there. That one. All right, cool. So right now, I'm just gonna should I delete all this Elliott wave stuff? No, I'll leave it there. Let's just leave it there, and we'll focus in on this information that we've got out in front of us. So we've got this pivot here that we're dealing with, which is essentially a test of the $60,000 level. And at that point, back in May, it was a rejection at that level. So heavy resistance. We're approaching it now quite strong. There is still a lot of room on the RSI for it to climb up higher. So, you know, that gives it the green light to, you know, come up and test 60,000. The MACD is still very much, you know, it's not exhausted by any means. It's got a lot of room to move up. You can see how much higher it can get in a true bullish euphoric stage of a bull run. It can go a lot higher. So back here, let's see what MACD reading did it get on the daily. So the actual MACD, which is the blue line, at the very peak of the market, or the peak of the wave, 5248. And what are we at right now? We're at 2643. So you can see we're only halfway up. If we're to get the MACD to go as high as what it did back here. Now you can see that run caused a lot of divergence. So you had all of this bearish divergence on the MACD while price was still climbing. We have not seen any sign of divergence yet. We're still even just creating the first climb, you know. So that's optimistic to me, you know. I'm definitely a bull in this circumstance. Like when you see that, you know, there's been no sign of divergence yet. It hasn't even made the first peak, if you will. You know, if we're calling this the first peak, we're above that now. So that's confluent. It's not divergent. So it's all healthy. It's all, you know, there's no exhaustion about it. One thing I might check is, let's see, volume. Let's go on to, let's say the weekly, because I think that's a nice perspective to get when you're looking at volume. Now I'm just going to close some of these indicators here just so I can get the volume up, because I don't have a TradingView subscription at the moment. I'm just using the free version. Why pay for something if you can get away with you know, using its free tools? And by the way, TradingView has a lot of features offered on their basic plan, which is completely free. Like, why not? You know, I prefer to put that money into investment or trading than pay a subscription to something, you know. See, all the things that I need in the free version, you know, get me where I need to go as far as technical analysis goes. You know, if you need more more than 3 indicators at once, then by all means go for it. The basic plan is a good starting point, and then the pro plan gives you that option to, you know, edit your watch lists and create custom watch lists and all that, and have more than just one alert, I think is the anyway. Yeah, if I find that it's not enough, the basic plan, I'll consider, you know, resubscribing to the pro. But anyway, for now, basics cutting it for me. So all right, enough of that. So we've got the weekly chart here, and you can see the volume is climbing. Like it's gradual and it's a slow start. However, by no means is it falling. You know, it's a little flat, but you know, check out the start of the run from the low we had on the COVID-19 outbreak back in March last year. Volume was actually dropping a lot of times. There was peaks, but for the most part, it was a big old drop in volume over time on average, right? However, price was climbing. So what does that tell you? It doesn't really give you much enlightenment to the fact that, oh, you know, price is going to drop because volume's dropping, right? Like all of that is a drop in volume over time. Like there's a couple of run-ups, there's a couple of little pumps, but for the most part, the average is down during that portion of the chart. I guess there was still a lot of fear in the market at that point. People, you know, maybe the retail section of the market wasn't too confident until they saw, you know, the test of the 20k all-time high. Like, and the climb to it was pretty amazing. Like you can see the volume was really picking up back through there. So yeah, we could just be getting started on something much bigger, you know. So that's my optimistic outlook. Right now, I'm trying to find a pessimistic, like a negative, to you know, draw out a bearish scenario, and it's I can't really see it. I can't see any kind of warning signs for some kind of a bearish scenario on the larger scale for Bitcoin right now. Check out the MACD. It threatened to pull back here, but that was just the the cooling off of that first bullish wave that we got after that whole B-word conference that started back here. We got this first impulse, but it needed to cool off because that was that accumulated a lot of value very fast. So that pullback was healthy. In order to go higher, you do need those pullbacks along the way before climbing. You can see that here as well. Like, so this is, where's March last year? Okay, so this was the big COVID dip right there. And then, yeah, you can see along the way, the histogram bars show, see the histogram bars are these dark green and light green rectangles here. These bars show that it wasn't just one giant ramp to the all-time high. It was made up of a series of you know, bullish moves, pullbacks, bull move, pullback. Like it's a ladder. Like it climbs up like a staircase. It doesn't just go up like in a straight line. So that's much the same as what's happening here. You know, it's not going to be a straight ramp to the all-time high again. It's made up of a series of you know, inclines and then healthy pullbacks and then a further incline. So yeah, that's what I'll say about the long-term outlook on Bitcoin for now. I'm bullish, and it's coming up obviously to test $60,000, fingers crossed. And you know, it'd be a hell of a bull trap if it just turned around from here and dumped. And you know, just to add a bit of caution, like we don't want to just be blindly buying into this and hoping and thinking that there's no way it can fail, because there's always the threat of a huge pullback. Like something can happen. We don't, you know, something what we call a black swan event, where we don't see what's coming. That can always happen around the corner. So you always have to be careful. there's no guarantees in trading at all. Not in crypto, let alone even the stock market. Same thing, right? We don't know what's around the corner. So yeah, always proceed with caution. But for now, yeah, the market's looking great. Today is a green day. You can see on my watch list here, most things are showing a climb or an appreciation in value, so that's good. Let's take a look at some of the alts. Ethereum, it fell out of that rising wedge that we were looking at a few days ago. Hey, Spatten, how you doing? There's a couple of people in the voice chat, and they're just coming through now.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going? Well, I'm just going to carry on with talking about Ethereum here. So right now we've...
I'm here, Rick.
Oh, you're there. Okay, cool. How you been?
Sorry, man.
It's
Fumble,
all right.
fat fingers, early morning, lack of tea, all of that good stuff.
It's alright, dude. No worries. I'm just
Thanks,
looking
man.
at Ethereum here. So we've had the high. It's not the all-time high, but it's the recent high that it had back in early September. We saw an ABC correction off that too, much like Bitcoin. You know, there's A, there's B, and there's C. And now we're getting this climb to the next, you know, hopefully this is the next leg of a larger Elliott wave count. Now, let me just scroll back across here. So here's the Fibonacci retracement off that. So there's the high, and here's the lowest point after that high. And all of these levels on the fib are levels of resistance. And we know that the golden pocket, or the golden fib level, is one of the most, if not the most significant fib level to pay attention to when price is making its way back to a high, you know, because there's no doubt we're in an uptrend. We've made a higher low and a higher high. So uptrend, we're looking at resistance. We're definitely not looking at support at this point. Until we get a rejection, like a double top or a head and shoulders, we can be confident that we're climbing, at least for now, on the larger scale, right? On the daily chart. So everything below that is just, you know, the movements that make up each daily candle. So if you go on the 1 hour chart, you can see, yeah, we're currently in that golden pocket between the 618 and the 65. And yeah, it's especially with Bitcoin climbing the way it is, I think Ethereum's got a good chance to get through this traffic here. It's like a bit of cloud cover. It needs to get up above the clouds, that being this pivot here. And you can see, yeah, we've met that pivot, and it's given us a clean rejection, at least for now, a pullback at least, right? So now the next writing on the wall, like the next part to test would be $4,000 right here. Once we trend back up to that level and get that retest, there's definitely enough money in the total market cap for Ethereum to you know, shoot back up for its all-time high of $4,372. The only thing that's kind of holding it back right now is it's like fundamentally we still need that ETH 2.0 situation to, you know, to take the next step in the Ethereum journey or the Ethereum story. But yeah, there are a lot of competitors to Ethereum that are, you know, really good projects like Cardano, Solana. I know some people don't like Solana, but I do. People were saying like, oh yeah, Solana is just, you know, it's all hot air and whatever. The thing is, the performance statistics are there, like what it can achieve, transactions per second, all that kind of thing. Let me pull up Solana, the chart for Solana right here. And yeah, it got that. It wasn't a hack. It was just an influx of transactions. It got flooded, and they flooded the capabilities. So it was really tested. It was choked up. The transaction speed went, you know, to a grinding halt, I think. Anyway, let's check the chart for that. It's broken down below this trend, which is not great. It's currently at 152, just under $152. However, it's this first little drop below this trend is a concern. However, it could be just a bit of, I don't know, because it's 2 days like below the trend, or like there's a lot of time below the trend. It's more than just a fake out to me, but I mean it depends on the perspective you look at it from. If you look at the weekly, you know, even there, like it's got the open below that trend line, which kind of sucks. But yeah, long term, even still, I'm still long term bullish on Solana as one of the, you know, the front running cryptos that belong in, say, the top 5. Until something comes along and outperforms what it achieves. I think it's 65,000 transactions per second compared to Ethereum's, like, I don't even know what Ethereum's transaction per second speed is. Let me check it. Ethereum TPS. Okay. 13 transactions per second. Compared to its enormous demand of 1.355 million transactions per second every day. Okay, so there's, yeah, a lot of people are still using Ethereum regardless of its slow speed. You know, it's got so many people, well, so many projects are built off Ethereum's ERC20 network, and they use it. So, and not to mention it's got a huge NFT presence as well. So, yeah, let's see, Ethereum, Solana. And then we'll put in Cardano. And what's the other one? Polkadot is the other environment that's like challenging or like coming up with check out this article here. Yeah, to be the so-called Ethereum killer. You know, the thing to do Ethereum's job better than Ethereum's currently struggling to do. So I would recommend, yeah, just do a bit of research around these 3 here, Solana, Cardano, and Polkadot, and just see how they perform against Ethereum. Because, I mean, these 3 projects, Cardano is a bit older, Polkadot's one of the newer ones, so is Solana, so they've got the benefit of building off the back of the mistakes of the previous, not mistakes, but the weaknesses of the other projects, right? So they can achieve higher throughput, that kind of thing. Solana, Ethereum, TPS. I'm gonna see if there is a chart floating around somewhere that shows. Yeah, I think it's this one. So it's got Solana, Ethereum, EOS, Cardano, Tezos, and Stellar. Like, yeah. Transaction throughput 59,000 TPS here. The fee to send something is like a fraction of a cent. Yeah, it's a proof of stake crypto, which basically doesn't require mining in the same way that Ethereum does. But yeah, most are proof of stake, all the newer ones anyway. You can see. Let's see how it compares up to the Binance Smart Chain, which is another kind of environment that people build projects off. Yeah, it smashes it with transaction speed, so it's a very fast network. Yeah, check it out. I mean, this is why I like Solana. Like, I mean, under the hood, it's very strong, very fast, effective blockchain. So what's to hate about it, really? Unless you're a heavy investor in any of the other ones. But let's see. Okay, so these look like all of the different projects that fall under the Solana umbrella, and then this is the Ethereum umbrella for each of the categories here, like, you know, wallets, decentralized exchanges, derivatives, lending and borrowing. Yeah, you can see there. Tether is an Ethereum stablecoin, like Ethereum network, ERC20 stablecoin. Ethereum is Tether. But then, okay, so the stablecoins of Solana that live on Solana, I'm not sure what that one is there. I'll have to look that up. But anyway, yeah, definitely look into these type of, I think they're called protocol blockchains projects. So Ethereum's a protocol, Solana's a protocol. Yeah, there's a few of them. So that's what has me bullish on Solana, just the fact that it's the performance. And right now, like, yeah, I mean, something's causing this resistance and this kind of fear. It's still at a higher low, so it's got these pivots here that are acting as, you know, the higher lows, but we need to come up and do this next push to get a higher high, because the writing's on the wall with the highs here. You know, we've got this high here, and then the second one, and now we need to make that third high to beat out that one. Because then if we get a lower high, if we make a macro lower high, you know, that's the first signal of a new downtrend, and we don't want to see that. We want to see it continue to climb up this overall bull trend it's been on since the start of the year, right? So if you turn the log scale on, you can really see it. You know, it's just trending up over time, and so it should. I think it's a pretty strong project, Solana. So now XRP, let's have a look at that. That's go out to the daily chart, and we check the high that we had recently. Well, not recently, but you know, like quite a number of days ago, or a couple of months actually. Let's see, that's early September. A high of $1.41.50, or $1.41.5, if you will. So you can see that it's currently meeting resistance at the golden pocket once again. This is time and time again. We see this level on any kind of Fibonacci retracement, whether it's for support or resistance. This 0.618 seems to be pretty significant. You get a lot of action off it. It doesn't just punch through it and, you know, and ignore it like it's not there. It definitely has an impact, that level. And even on this higher time frame, like check out this. If I go to the yearly high, not the all-time high, but the yearly high of $1.96, and take it down to the lowest point, which was back to 50 cents after that high. Check out where we got that clean rejection. See there? The 0.618 produced a very clean rejection for XRP. And right now, the rejection we got recently was at the 0.5. Right there. See that? So this is actually respecting the fibs quite nicely. Like, it's all quite exacting. Like, you've got you know, so if this is our low point, the first initial climb, there was a bit of resistance. See that red candle right there, right below that white line that I just drew? That was reacting to that first level, the 236. And then you've got a clean reaction, or pretty strong, I'm going to call that a reaction off the 382 there. You can see that red candle there too, and that huge wick as it was climbing. And then climb on another climb, another leg up to once we punch through the 386. Sorry, the 382, not 386. I'm thinking 236. Sorry. Yeah, the 0.5. It looked like it was just punching through the 0.5. It's a less significant level than the 618, but still. It can prove to be a challenging hurdle to get through when you're retracing your steps back to the previous level. But for the most part. Yeah, it did punch through that. And it was on its way to the 618. But now, did this happen? This happened, okay, 15th of August was where it found resistance in the middle of nowhere and pivoted backwards again. Now, what happened on the 15th of August with Bitcoin? Is there any kind of... Okay, this pullback here. So Bitcoin was going through a few days of weakness in that stage, so perhaps that's where XRP kind of stopped in its tracks and felt the effect of that Bitcoin pullback as well. However, it looked like, you know, had that pullback not have happened on Bitcoin, XRP probably would have come up to test that golden level, that golden ratio 618 of $1.41. It did get that test. However, produced, the rejection shoved us right back in to this falling wedge, which is a lot of alts felt that same pullback. So here we are. Now we're climbing back. We've come out of this falling wedge, much the same as Bitcoin came out of a falling wedge as well, which is right here, like this.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, can hear you now. I think you've been trying to talk for like 20 minutes now or something.
It was when you were saying it was a green day, and then I was like, oh, everything's green apart from everything I'm holding. So.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, it's, I don't know. Give it time. You know, if Bitcoin punches through where it's currently at and starts climbing higher, starts testing, 58,000 even, 57, 58, the coins are in, might start to turn around and start to see some appreciation again of value. So what are they? Quant, is that one of them?
So I got Quant, BTT, Matic, and ADA at the moment.
Oh yeah, BitTorrent, BTT, and ADA and Matic. Okay.
Yeah, I think you mentioned Matic the other day. It's sort of just waiting for that hype to build up again, people to sort of want to get into it. I also bought a new coin the other day for D-Race, which is an NFT game. I'm looking to get into the play to earn stuff.
Oh yeah, sweet.
So yeah, it's just like a horse racing game. Yeah, you can only buy it on like crypto.com, Gate.io, or the Pancake Swap or Uniswap or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yep. It's a DEX kind of network, decentralized exchange network, this sort of thing.
Yeah, even if I can't get the actual horses when they drop, I'm almost certain they're going to drop the coin onto Binance, so at least I'll be able to sell my coins for a profit when everyone else starts buying it. Yep.
No, fair enough. Now I'm just going to look at XYO here. I've got a couple of people asking about it in the chat here. So let's see. We've got that high, which happened on the second day of it being listed to KuCoin, XYO. And the last time I looked at it, it was the low that was set in was around here. So we drew a fib level to it. Now, the last day that I was streaming was Friday, I believe. Thursday or Friday last week. So that was the 8th, which is right here. Okay, so we fell below that support. So I'm going to adjust this fib now to that low there. And over the weekend, it pumped like crazy. It went up, almost 70%, 80% or something. It wicked up pretty high. But check out where it exhausted just before the golden ratio there. So that's kind of like the sweet spot where, when something starts a climb, usually these earlier levels produce resistance, but this was such a strong pump that it smashed through all those. And it almost came up and tagged the 618, which is the golden ratio. But for the most part, it's pulled back. Now, for XYO, this could be the start of it, breaking this downtrend that it's been in. I was talking about last time, the last stream that I did, I was talking about XYO needing to find the floor because it's in support discovery. And perhaps this level could be the first test of what might be the floor, especially if we get support off this previous resistance here. You know, we might not come back to that level for some time. You know, that could be enough to start a new uptrend on it. XYO. So but yeah, that's a crazy pump. Like, I don't know what caused that, whether it was just the market naturally pumping or whether there was some kind of coordinated pump on it, or who knows. But the point is, like, we want to see any kind of previous resistance acting as future support. So we might be seeing that now. Like, you know, we've seen resistance here, and we're getting a pullback to that area, to that sort of zone. So if we start rallying from this pullback now to climb up and do another wave up, then yeah, the show's on the road for XYO. Now on the daily, yeah, this would be the fib that I would trace in, or that I would draw in. So take it from the high of 5 cents is what I've got here, basically. Just under 6 cents. It's like 5.9 cents. And then draw it or trace it down all the way to the lowest point after that high, which is 2.25 cents. And then that gives you these fibs to target. Now, in my fib, I've actually got the level 0.65 turned on. The way to do that, or the way I did that, if you click on Style in the fib settings, just pick one of these grayed out unselected levels, and I just picked this final one here. I chose orange as a color, or like a gold color, and I typed in a custom level, 0.65, and then I just made that my default, or saved it as a template and hit OK, and that gives me this level. So that's my golden pocket of the fib levels. So let me just turn this music back on. Goes through that quiet point. There we go. So that's what I see for XYO. Like, so far we've got a higher high, and now we're seeing if we can get that higher low. So this is a low, this is a previous high, this is the current high. So, you know, so far so good. Hopefully it doesn't go deeper than where it's at now, and we can work on that next leg up to try and beat the resistance of, let's see, 4.386 cents, which is, you know, the recent high that we made. So I'll put that on there as our existing resistance, or our immediate resistance that we need to get back above to go into a proper bull trend again. So that's XYO. Now I'm gonna have a look at the other favorites here. We've got Dogecoin. That took a tumble. There was some kind of a bull pennant, because I mean, we uptrended and then we consolidated into like a pennant shape, but that's been invalidated now. So we've lost that theory of it being a pennant. However, we could still be looking at a bull flag. Let me just check if that's the case here. Bull flag / falling wedge. Let's see if it meets the requirements for either of those. So a bull flag would look something like that, and a falling wedge looks something like this, which is a bullish pattern as well. So yeah, even though it's corrected a bit, Dogecoin, we've got a potential falling wedge formation that is on the cards. So yeah, I wouldn't be calling it quits on Doge just yet. There's still hope, especially with Bitcoin climbing up the way it is. You know, Doge just needs to get that foot in the door and go beyond these previous pivots. But yeah, damn, that's quite a hit that it took. Let's see, how many hours ago was that? 8 hours ago. So 7 a.m. for me. 7 a.m. is when that started to pull back pretty significantly. So someone's been selling off a fair bit of their Doge. Now, let me just change this to green, just so that I can indicate the bullish sentiment of this pattern, this type of pattern. Now, it's not a guarantee, as we all know. These are just things that could potentially see a breakout to the positive side, to the for the bulls. And a rising wedge, on the other hand, is a bearish pattern that works out for the bears, for the people going short. So, and that's something like this, like where you're climbing and then it falls out of that climb, I'm a bit reluctant to call that a rising wedge. It's a bit steep for my liking, but yeah, it has that kind of feel to it. It was making highs and higher lows, but losing momentum as it climbed, so it fell out eventually, hit resistance. So yeah, the main thing is Dogecoin is trending above this ascending trend line here, this white one. That's a very long-term trend. Now it started, let's see, the first touch that I'm using is back here on the 20th of July, around that time. I think that was when the B word conference hit. So yeah, it got that first moved up with Bitcoin. Bitcoin got that pullback, but now Bitcoin's on this new run where it's making higher highs, but Doge is still stuck in this overall like sort of pennant formation on the higher time frame here, the daily chart. Well, this is the 4-hour. Go to the daily and you can see that it's stuck in this wedge. Now this wedge, of course, is excluding this move here, which is the SNL hype, which is kind of like, a little bit unnatural. It's a bit, you would call that, not synthetic, artificial. It's not natural appreciation in value. It's just, it was just a pump. It just pumped because of an event, right? The event ended and it dropped right back to where it came from. Yeah, that's it. So, but the fact is, it's still holding above this trend line, and that's if we're to lose that trend, that's when I would be starting to be a bit more pessimistic about Doge. But for now, it's still very much above it, and I'm optimistic that we'll still get a break to go, up to the previous highs that we've had, 30 cents and beyond, hopefully. So, do I see Doge going to $1 anytime soon? Not yet. I don't think it's, I think it's starting to get down to the pointy end of 2021, right? We're in the fourth quarter and Doge is, at 23.5 cents. It's got a lot of work to do to get back even just to 75 cents, right? Where its previous high. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to go to $1 this year, but yeah, happy to be proven wrong. Always happy to be proven wrong. Yeah, we need to start it. The first big hurdle is it needs to break out of this falling trend here, this resistance. Right there. Needs to break out of that. And that'll be the first sign. Just like Bitcoin needed to break out of its falling trend. This yellow line going down. And it has done that. And because it did that, that has made me change my story, like, my sentiment. I've gone bullish again. See, I was bearish because of this lower high that was set in. It put me on the ropes with Bitcoin. I'm like, okay, yeah, we're sort of tracing out a pattern that looks reminiscent of the 2018 bear market, right? Lower highs. So, yeah, this is really good to see. This has basically invalidated that 2018 pattern, right? That bear scenario for me. The final true test to make me like even more confident is getting above 60. There is still the threat on the table of getting rejected at 60,000. So we need to see that volume continue to step in, the bulls continue to come in and push through that $60,000 resistance. You know, yeah, we'll just have to see how it pans out. But yeah, this final quarter, this Q4 this year is shaping up to be a very exciting time for the market in crypto. There's a lot of people threatening that the stock market may be facing some pretty significant correction in the coming days or weeks ahead. So we'll see how that pans out, see if it has much of an impact on crypto. But yeah, you never know. A lot of people might be jumping into crypto to hedge, to ride out the storm in the other traditional markets. But yeah.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me, cocked your head to the side and said I'm angry. 5 days since you laughed at me, saying get that to bed, get that together, come back and see me. 3 days since the living room, I realized it's all my fault but couldn't tell you. Yesterday you'd forgiven me, but it'll still be 2 days till I say I'm sorry.
Hold together, got the hoodwink, cause it'll make you stop think. You think you're looking at Aquaman. I summon fish to the dish, although I like the chalet Swiss, I like the sushi, cause it's never such a frying pan. Hot like wasabi when I bust rhymes. Big like Leanne rhymes, because I'm all about value. Burt Kampfer's got the mad hits. You try to match wits, you try to hold me but I bust through. Gotta make a break and take a fick. I like the stinking ache and shake. I like vanilla. It's the finest of the flavors. Gotta see the show, cause then you know the vertigo has gotta go, cause it's a dangerous. You'll have to sign a waiver. What's up, Trogdor?
I think it's funny when you're mad. Trying hard not to smile, though I feel bad. I'm the kind of guy who can't understand what I mean. Well, you soon will. I have a tendency to wear my mind on my sleeve. I have a history of taking off my shirt.
It's been. Yeah, we've been trying to learn that song for the last few weeks. I don't think I've ever sung it on my own stream before. I always do it off stream, but hey, a bit of a break in the monotony of technical analysis.
This is the real Rick.
Yeah, this is the real me. I've got many sides.
That was so random, man. Like I was talking with Trogdor yesterday about NFTs, and then out of nowhere he's here.
He just breaks into song. Oh, that's beautiful.
Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken.
Jack.
You have a drumstick in your brain.
Night Jack.
Watching X-Files when the lights on with the maze on. I hope. Oh my God, I can actually. I used to be able to do it a lot better, but pretty bad.
Yeah, it catches me. Some days it's crap. Some days I can't get it, and then other days I nail it. But yeah, that
smoke something this one, like Harrison Ford. I'm getting
frantic. Like sitting I'm tantric.
I can't say it when I hear you.
Yeah, it's because our delay. It throws us off. You hear me. Yeah. You hear me late. I hear you late.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think.
I think you guys are the favorite dog.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rick. Good morning. No, I think that was very awesome. It's not easy to just wing it.
It's so awkward. I know a lot of people are cringing right now listening to that, but whatever.
No, I think you guys did well. No, don't stop. No. Carry on. The more you practice and live and on air, the better. No, go for it. I think it's fantastic.
I think a lot of people are laughing on the inside or even outwardly, Rick. That's what I think.
Yeah. Well, that's it's a beautiful thing. Hey,
Rick,
check
what
out
a move by Bitcoin, man.
Check out Shiba right now as well. It's maintaining this trend line here. Now let's not ignore that there was a low right here that I'm sort of chopping off for the sake of keeping the price above trend. But if you take it to that point, like if I just if I take it to the very tippy tip of the wick and I trace it up like that, we have faked out a few times. You can see that we faked out below that trend. However, yeah, I'm still pretty confident in that it's going to hold this range of support. The thing that would make me change my tune is if we lost these pivots here, like especially here. So 2,450 Shiba Toshis, for lack of a better term, because all those zeros in front of it. Yeah, if we lose that level, then yeah, it's sort of showing that it's in a downtrend if it does that kind of move. But yeah, for now, it's still consolidating sideways, and it's, you know, there's potential for another climb up. So yeah, it's going to be one to keep your eye on in the coming days, or even, you know, it might trend for the next couple of weeks even. We'll see. We'll have to see. But yeah.
So Rick, I have a question.
Yeah.
What would be your let's say your entry trigger?
The entry trigger for Shiba?
Yeah.
Well, in this short time, like in the more micro perspective, let's jump to the hourly chart. Existing resistance is at 2,800, I'm going to call it, because of these pivots here. If we get back above that and continue to make higher lows on the hourly chart, you know, we are climbing. It's a very subtle climb, but there is like these higher lows coming in like that, and it is gradually making a climb. So if we can continue that trend and get above 2,800, you know, that's optimistic. And can you see where it's met resistance? Once again, look at that. Surprise, surprise. The golden ratio, the golden pocket as providing resistance. So yeah, let's get above that, and we can look at, you know, making new highs for this current bull run that we seem to be in. So yeah, let's go Shiba. I'm sure Prolific is pretty chuffed because he's been pretty positive on Shiba even through all of this flat period. You know, it's been holding above 550 Shiba Toshis for some time, like, you know, at least 3 months, more than 3 months, you know. But it keeps suffering that. It kept suffering that resistance at 1,000. I think it had what? I'm going to call it 5 major tests of that range. You know, first being here, rejected. Second, rejected. Third, rejected. Fourth, rejected. Fifth, rejected, and then punched it in the last approach, like in a big way. And yeah, we're out of that rut, you know. So that seems to be what happens to these coins. Like when they get listed to an exchange like Binance, they go through this phase of like needing to establish support, and then, you know, they'll establish the support. So when we got this double bottom here, that was kind of like, okay, the writing's on the wall. Like we can take 550 as support until proven, you know, until it breaks that support and goes deeper. But yeah, we managed to hold that many times. Like there was many tests. Like, yeah, maybe there was a couple of wicks through it, but still, for the most part, you can see price held above it. Some coins have a shorter sort of support phase where they need to establish support over you know, it depends. It depends on the market. It depends what the coin's doing, the fundamentals, how many people are behind it, what kind of, like, you know, what kind of roadmap they have for the rest of the year, that kind of thing. But yeah, XYO, I was saying that XYO is going to go through that same kind of period of support discovery, and it's still fresh. It's still a fresh coin. Regardless of this pump here, this could still go back into like a support discovery type scenario, like Shiba. Because Shiba definitely, yeah, there was pumps in the past too, but for the most part, like it fell to a lower level and had to establish that support over months or weeks and weeks, right? Yeah. Anyway, I think that covers all the big ones and all the hype at the moment, the coins that are hyped. What is trending right now? I mean, today's candle has been going for 5 hours, 5.5 hours. So Step,
Bitcoin, man.
DYDX, REN, AR, AI, OMG. Yeah, you can see the list there. There's some decent trends going on. Yeah, Bitcoin, I mean, that's the one to watch. That's what I'll be watching for the rest of today and into tomorrow. But yeah, it's looking pretty positive. I think I'm gonna wrap this one up, this stream up.
Oh, go on.
I'm still gonna be on. I'm gonna be, there's people in the voice channel of the Discord. So jump on in if you want to have a chat. But I'm gonna keep this format happening where I do the analysis, I do the technical analysis on the market, and then end the stream, and then it gets uploaded so that you can actually go back and look at it. Because the way I was doing it before, those streams weren't getting uploaded because they went beyond 12 hours. So these ones are going to stay at 1 hour, 2 hour, 3. It depends, but very much below 5 hours. And yeah,
What do you think about this ascending wedge or channel in Bitcoin right now?
For Bitcoin,
on the 12-hour, mate.
The 12-hour. I'm going to look at it on the daily. So
even on the daily, you can
the daily, the higher lows. Let me just go to the 4 hour, just get that resolution happening.
You can see it on the 4 hour right there as well. Where like the last three or 4 days of price action that we're in up here, you can see we're forming this ascending pattern.
Yeah, hopefully it goes through that thing where it breaks that.
No, not even that far back, mate. Like just way up top, like on the flag area where we are.
Oh,
now.
this point.
Yeah, that bit. Yeah,
I see what you mean. Yeah. Because there is this as well. We have to be aware of that. And there was this going on, but we broke above that. We broke above that as well as a potential rising wedge. And then now it's a stretch, but it starts getting really vertical, and that's where I think the wedge gets invalidated. But for the one you're talking about, let me just I'm gonna dial this in. Yeah, there is, I would say, a threat of some kind of a short-term rising formation there.
It's the only reason why I entered a short, because we just knocked against the upper trend line now. Clean.
Right.
Clean retraction off of it as well.
Yeah. Yep. So I would be, if you guys have TradingView listing on YouTube here, draw this trend in, this shorter-term trend that Bitcoin seems to be in. It's like a ascending channel, if not a rising wedge. It's kind of like a hockey stick. It's got the big shaft, the hockey stick, and then it's got the actual the hitting part, whatever you call that, the face of the hockey stick. Yeah. We'll see how it behaves outside of that. I mean, there's kind of been ones in the past like that. Like I don't know, this is more of like a broadening wedge, this one.
Well,
anyway.
If you take out that deviation you had just drawn on a broadening wedge earlier, it was an ascending channel, and it did break out. It broke down out of it, but recovered.
Yeah, like it's kind of like a fake out. Yeah.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that.
It looked like it tried to bounce off that macro trend line you had underneath it.
Yeah. Yeah, Bitcoin can be sometimes really misleading, like with its patterns, especially on the smaller time frames. But yeah, when you zoom out, I like the daily chart and the 4 hour for Bitcoin. But yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it gunning past 60,000, or at least testing 60,000. And total market cap, let's not ignore that, because that's got now. It had these two very clear, obvious tests here, which produced this trend line descending, and now it's proving to be a challenge to get through that. But yeah, that'll be a big deal if we can break through that and get a daily close above that descending trend. That's where this trend gets invalidated as resistance and may become support. Like it might break up and then maybe get rejected off the all-time high and then come back and test as support and then go higher, But
and on the macro for Bitcoin, Rick, the 786 Fibonacci, the short fib, if you drew it on the daily, like on the bigger picture, if you zoom out, and just draw how you have it right there. I think you already have it set up.
Do you mean like a trend-based fib extension? Yep.
Well, where you have that blue line already, I think you already have it.
Yeah, they're just lines of support resistance.
No, hold on now. At 57, well, if you see where you have your number 3 on the top left, at the all-time high.
Yeah, all-time high. Yeah.
I just used a regular Fibonacci retracement tool from there, all
pulling
the way
back down to the
floor.
low. Yeah.
Yeah, and the 786 short Fibonacci level is at 57k, 57.2k to be exact. And well, out in
Yeah,
Binance,
and that's kind of where we're at. Yeah, I see that.
yeah. So I was looking at that, and I was thinking like, like it'd be decent to at least test it. And then,
Oh yeah, because I mean, it's on your chart. Has it come in to test it? Like, has it touched yet,
Not yet.
or not yet? Not quite yet.
Well,
Okay.
I'm on Bybit's. Like it's basically futures. It's a futures chart.
Yeah.
So it's a little different. It's not.
I think it's awesome that it's smashed through the golden pocket, because that's the hardest. I think of all of the levels to break through, this is like the best win on the climb. You know.
And year 5 already did reject there once.
Yeah, it got a pretty strong rejection. Yeah, so met resistance. Like, yeah, there was some wicks and a little bit of activity beyond it, but for the most part, yeah, huge rejection. And then the retest was, it crushed it, which was really cool. And now we're up here, so right on. So, all right, YouTube, thanks for tuning in. I'll do my best to pick up where we left off, or do another analysis tomorrow around the daily candle close, either an hour before or around that time. So yeah, come back and check it out, and just remember to smash the like button and hit subscribe. I'm gonna stop this stream, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.